Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh YouTube. This is Ali, just here to record a quick video. I got a video response from a person. His name is Jorsak, so I'm responding to that. It is in regards to John chapter 10 verse 30. Jorsak, first of all, congratulations on your first video. And let me put this into context here real quick. Context seems to be the key word here today in these in both of these videos. You said something to me that kind of amazed me, and your examples is what I'm really talking about. So for the sake of the listeners that haven't heard your example, let me play your example, and then I'll give you my response to that. So here's your example.
For example, the Jews say, "Jesus, tell us who you are." And Jesus' response, "I am one in purpose with the Father." What? That makes no sense. Now consider the standard Christian interpretation. The Jews ask, "Jesus, tell us who you are." Jesus' response, "I and the Father are one in the same." Does that make sense?
And that would make sense. I do not deny that, but that would make sense because it's out of context. All right. So let's, if you ask this question in the context of what Jesus answered as, before you get to I am one in purpose with the Father, here's what the context would be. Okay. They would say, the Jews would say, tell us who you are. And Jesus would say, "I told you already, but you don't listen. I am here to guide the people to the truth. I am one in purpose with the Father." Now that makes perfect sense. And that is the context. Okay? You read it, and that is the context. There is no ifs, ands, or but about it. He talks about him guiding the people, the sheep that he has, to the truth, and that God will keep those that are in the path of truth in truth, and because of that they are one in purpose, him and God. So no, your explanation does not answer the question. Okay, and I know that your rebuttal video will probably come along the line of, as you read later on, they pick up stones to throw at him. Okay, and he asks them, well, why are you going to throw stones at me? For my what works have I done? They said, not for your works, but for blasphemy. That's why we're going to stone you. And then he basically answers them, "Is not written in your law, I say you are gods." Basically, this is how they talk. Okay, so he's not calling himself God. He's referring to the fact that Jews call themselves God, according to their understanding. So this is how they talk. They were just misunderstanding him. That's all it is. Okay, and then you brought up something to me that I just don't understand how it is that Christians would say this over and over again, and still I don't know. But in any case, what I'm talking about is when chapter 8 that you referred to, where Jesus says, before Abraham was, I am. He said that I am is the personal name of God. Now, if I put that into context of I am meaning God, okay, before Abraham was born, God, okay, before Abraham was God, okay, if we put that into context, that makes sense, because God gave Jesus and every other prophet, according to Islam, the knowledge that they need. Okay? And every prophet, according to Islam, again, every prophet that came before spoke of a prophet to come in the future, and also spoke of the Antichrist. Every prophet, according to Islam, spoke of these two things, at least these two things. Every prophet, messenger, doesn't matter who they are, that's what they spoke about according to Islam. So Jesus being the Messiah to the Jews, the promised person to the Jews, Abraham would have known this, because Abraham was told of what his children will bear. So yes, before Abraham was, God already knew everything, so God told him. That's why Abraham rejoiced. Okay, so you know, I mean, to me, it amazes me, because if I take the I am and again put it in to say that, as you Christians would say, that I am is the personal name of God, there's no question here anymore. But instead of that, you basically say that before Abraham was I am, meaning that Jesus I am, not the personal name of God, but like I would say, hey, I am, you know, I am black, whatever, you know. That if that's the case, then all it does is put things to the point that it's like, hey, you know, this is let me answer that question though, because I'm sure you'll probably ask that. This, if you were saying that, like I would say, hey, I'm black, this is what Jesus was saying. According to Islam, everyone was created together with Adam. All of mankind was created together with Adam. So before even Abraham, me, Ali, you know, I was, okay? Now, I wasn't like the other people, because I'm not a prophet or anything. I'm just a human being like everyone else here listening to this. Okay, so, but we were all created at that time, okay, according to Islamic teaching. So, any case, I hope I answered those two questions so they won't come back, okay, and I hope I clarified to you why we say that John chapter 10 verse 30, I and the Father are one, is actually one in purpose, because of the context, and your question, your example was actually out of context. Put it in the context of what Jesus was talking about, and it makes perfect sense, as I showed you. Hope that made sense to the viewers that are watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings of God be upon each one of you. Thanks for listening.